Welcome back to the Inside the Trailer Sports Podcast, your source for news coverage, wild takes, guaranteed bets, and other types of sports games. My name is Drew, and this is Connor. Today is episode number 15. A lot going on. Tonight in specific is the Four Nations Face-Off first game. We'll talk a little bit about that kind of stuff and do some hot takes on that. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's just jump right into it with the first segment. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first thing we want to talk about, something big this past weekend was the Super Bowl. So let's recap that a little bit. The Eagles end up taking the game, and my prediction was correct. I had the Eagles winning it. You had the Chiefs.
Congratulations.
So I'll take that. It was a blow for most of the game.
Yeah.
I think the score makes it look a little closer than it actually was, because the entire time it was just the Eagles just dominating the Chiefs. Absolute domination the entire time. Which, funny enough, though, Saquon wasn't doing the dominating. Saquon kind of had a slower game for what we considered.
I'm surprised.
Jalen Hurts ends up winning Super Bowl MVP and had himself a really great game.
Yeah, he did.
And they dominated in the air, kind of like how I said they would.
Yeah.
And especially on defense. They were shutting down the Chiefs. Cooper DeJean had a pick six. That was absolutely massive turning point in the game for the Eagles, just kind of solidifying the domination of what was happening.
Yeah.
But a lot to unfold here. I think some of the key points to take away after the game, one that I kind of want to talk about, speaking of Jalen Hurts and him winning the MVP, is now that he has a Super Bowl ring, now that he has a Super Bowl MVP, where do we rank him in terms of NFL starting quarterbacks? Because obviously he's proven that he's that guy. I think, he had a lot of doubters, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I wasn't a doubter of Jalen Hurts at one point.
Me too.
Okay, is Jalen Hurts really a top NFL quarterback? He just won the Super Bowl. He just won the Super Bowl MVP. He's the guy.
He's proved a lot of people wrong.
He's proved a lot of people wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he proved me wrong. Jalen Hurts is that guy.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is that guy. He's got the track record to show it now.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the track record to show it now. Super Bowl MVP. But now, where do we rank him? It's hard. There's a lot of great quarterbacks, and Jalen Hurts incredible as well. But having that Super Bowl ring and the MVP, I think gotta boost you a lot. I think it boosts you a lot of guys. I think it boosts you over guys that you were under before, and it's kind of hard, specifically where I would rank him.
Yeah.
But now I think guys like Justin Herbert, who I think a lot of people probably have over Jalen Hurts beforehand. Now I think that's kind of maybe a starting point of, is Jalen Hurts now better?
You could debate about it.
I think now we're starting to get to the point of maybe that's where the line is of where we want to kind of rank Jalen Hurts. Coming into the top 10 if he wasn't already.
Sure.
Maybe kind of coming down closer to top 5, potentially.
Yeah. He's close to
It's hard to, I don't know exactly where I'd put him over. I don't know if you have a kind of like take on that.
Yeah, I guess where I want to start with you is let's compare him to other QBs, right? Let's go QB to QB. We'll get to a point where if you start to debate about whether that guy is worse or whether that guy is better, right? We can then be like, this might be a solid position to put him in. I think a lot of people wanted him around the range of like 12 to 15.
That was a fair assumption or a fair guess kind of.
Yeah, and now with obviously his ring and his MVP,
I'm just gonna move.
You're good. I think you could debate that he is closer into the top 8 for sure.
Yeah.
So let's go QB to QB. I'm gonna ask you, Lamar Jackson or obviously Jalen Hurts.
I'm taking Lamar.
So there you go. He's not one.
No, he's definitely
so he's not one. We can rule that out.
He's still not one.
Josh Allen.
No.
Or Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Or sorry, excuse me, Josh Allen. Josh Allen. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
I was gonna say, Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts.
Joe Burrow.
Okay. So you got 3 guys above him. This is interesting. This is, I'm reading something off the NFL website, which is just like this year's stats, right? So Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
So I'm not ready to say he's number 4, right? There's still more guys, so let's keep going.
Plenty of guys, yeah.
Still 3 guys above him. Sam Darnold or Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Obviously Jalen Hurts. Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts.
Ooh.
It's kind of a tough one. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to say Jalen Hurts for now, because Jaden's only been in the league for 1 year and just because Jalen won the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
I'm going to go Jalen for now.
Okay.
But Jaden is absolutely incredible. So Jalen for now.
Had a good rookie year.
He had a really good rookie year, and I think he's going to continue to move up. But that's a whole other discussion for the offseason.
Whole another discussion.
Jalen Hurts for now.
Okay, so that's still 3 guys above Jalen Hurts. So at the moment, you have him at 4. Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. 4
Still,
guys above
even
him.
after that.
So right now he's 5. Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts.
Now this is a tricky one that I kind of mentioned as a guy. That's a debate because Justin Herbert's absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
got really good arm talent. He's mobile too. He's got a great figure. Jalen Hurts he's even more athletic than Justin Herbert is. He's incredible with his feet. He's got a great physique as well. He's not afraid to take hits. He's got good arm strength as we've seen. That's tough.
Got to make a decision. I guess you could take all day, but I mean,
you could. Man. All in all, I think we've seen Jalen Hurts have a better NFL career so far, especially after this weekend.
Yeah, I mean the stats would debate you, but
that's just
either way.
Maybe it's recency bias.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Justin Herbert.
I was gonna say
that's really hard. I really like Justin Herbert. I'm gonna go Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts.
Fair. I was gonna say either way, there's a debate to put him. I think
they're literally right next to each other though.
Okay. Yeah. I'll name a few more names, but I think that's kind of a fair place to put him for right now. Matt Stafford.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
Jordan Love.
Jalen Hurts.
Let's see. Brock Purdy, a name you don't
Jalen Hurts. I will take Jalen Hurts with 2 broken legs.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course you would. Kyler Murray.
Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Jalen Hurts. That's another good one, though.
Yeah, it is.
Kyler's really good.
There's a few more names. Dak Prescott.
Jalen Hurts.
CJ Stroud.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. So
that's another really good one, though.
It is, but we're starting to get to the point where these are on the lower end of QBs. I think it's a fair assumption to place Jalen Hurts somewhere in that 6-7 range, right?
How many guys do we even put above him?
We put Patrick Mahomes. We put Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and if you count Justin Hurts, well, okay, so he's in the 5-6 range, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean that's and you
maybe I had him a little higher than I realized,
which is interesting because I mean you were saying Jaden Daniels is right there too, so you might even throw Jaden Daniels in the 8-9 range.
Yeah.
It's really interesting though that you bring all this up, putting him in the 5-6 range because most mocks and most rankings would have him in the 15 range, like we were talking about.
Not anymore.
So this just goes to show how much a championship and an MVP means to a player. It can bring you 10 spots above other players who, I mean, in this literal ranking, they had Brock Purdy, they had Bryce Young above him. This is the NFL page. Right. This is a news reporter. So I don't know. It's just a very interesting topic, and I'm glad you brought it up because I would agree with you. I think he is in the 5-6 range.
I had it actually maybe a little higher than I realized. I probably would have said 8-9, but now that we say this out loud, and again, maybe this is recency bias just because he's a Super Bowl champion and he just won the MVP. But
right, yeah.
Yeah. I think Jalen Hurts is definitely, if you didn't have him before, he's definitely in your top 10. Clearly he's right now like 5 or 6. And I'll be up to debate again maybe later in the offseason that kind of quarterback rankings because Herbert at 5 also kind of feels wrong.
It does
to me.
It does.
It feels like he should be a little lower. So again, we'll come back and we'll maybe debate that another day. But yeah, I like Jalen Hurts kind of in that like 6, 7, 8 area right as of right now.
Highest 5, I would say lowest if you give exceptions to Jaden Daniels. If you even want to like
lowest, I would go is like 9 or 10.
That's the absolute lowest.
Absolutely.
I don't even think he's there though. I think he's higher.
No, he's higher than that. So, especially after this weekend solidifies him in that area.
He had a great Super Bowl.
He did.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk about another topic that involves the Super Bowl, involves a player, Travis Kelce. Now, right, there's a lot of speculation going around that this might have been Travis Kelce's last year. Personally, I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like this is kind of like we're entering a new age of tight ends, right? So, I mean, he's been ruling the tight end scene for years now.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we're kind of switching over into Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta, who, I mean, even had a down year. Like, we're witnessing the end of tight end. What's the word? Power? Like I don't even know it.
Like I guess just current like generation. I don't know.
It's the end of it's an end of an era.
It's an end of an era. You know what I mean? Kelce, being dominant for so long, and now he's kind of on the back end of that career, still being dominant. You know what I mean? Right now, but retirement is a big speculation. Excuse me, for Kelce right now.
Yeah.
I think he said he's going to contemplate his future in the next couple of weeks, see if going forward he wants to play, because he doesn't just want to play just because for storyline reasons. Like he wants to play if his heart's into it.
Right.
And he's gonna want to go out there and win, which is something he's been wanting to do his entire career, and it's something he has done his entire career. They just played in their third straight. They were going for their third straight title, so winning is in his blood. And that's what he wants to continue to do. And I think, if he continues to play, the Chiefs team is still going to potentially go back to the Super Bowl. Yep. I think that team is going to dominate. Part of me is going to say that he doesn't retire and he's going to want to run it back. I think if they won the Super Bowl, I think he would have retired.
Yeah,
I think he would have been like, okay, 3-peat, right off into the sunset. Go marry Taylor Swift, maybe. But
right.
Because people were speculating, at the Super Bowl, like, oh, he's going to propose.
Yeah.
If they win, which... Maybe
thought he might have, yeah.
Maybe he was gonna if they won. You're definitely not gonna do it if you lose.
Nope.
Maybe he was if they won. That would have been the storybook ending. But not all stories should have a good ending. And I like this one. I like how this one has a bad ending for him.
Yeah, this is a good ending.
And Nick, it's a good ending for me.
Yeah.
Not for him. He's gonna have to wait a year to propose now if he wants to do it. So maybe that's another reason that will entice him to play for another season. Is now I gotta win a Super Bowl again so I can go propose at the end of the game and. Big publicity right there. But no, I think he runs it back. I think he runs it back at least one more year.
Interesting.
I think he'll kind of contemplate it for a couple of weeks. I think he's going to come back. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there's a lot he has to contemplate about. Taylor Swift being one of them. Like, he's at a point in his career where he has so many accolades and achievements that if he wanted to retire, it would be completely understandable.
Mm.
And I don't think anyone will blink an eye and be like, okay, yeah, you had a good career. Like it makes sense that you're leaving now. Obviously, his brother retired. So I mean, and they came in around the exact same time. Was it the same year? I don't know.
It was in the same at least year or two.
Yeah,
don't hold me.
Around the same time.
It was around the same time.
So either way, it would make sense for him
Jason
to
got drafted before Travis.
Yeah,
but again,
either way, it was around the same time. So it would make sense that they would leave around the same time. They got their New Heights podcast, right? So they might want to focus a little bit more on that. This doesn't even rule out any deals that they make with the NFL afterwards. Like, who knows if they go on and do some announcing. I
think they absolutely would. I think if Travis were to retire today, I think he'd still be involved in the NFL heavily. I think he'd absolutely go into some type of analyst role or commentary or something. He would absolutely still be involved in the NFL, just not on the field, I guess.
Yeah. So personally, after all that being said, I still think he has a little bit left in the tank. I do. If this is not his last year, I give him one more year.
I agree.
Next year's probably his last year.
I agree.
It would be weird for Kelce to be like, oh, I want to go until I win. You're like, all right, man, you won 2 times in a row.
Right.
You almost won a third. What, are you just going to keep going until you win again? Like, at this point, it feels like obviously he wants to win. But the championship doesn't really feel like the most important thing.
Right.
It is. It's one of the important things, but it's not the most important thing. At the end of the day, he's getting older. He has to think about, he doesn't need the money anymore, really, from that. He's going to get more money after, like we just said, from the NFL.
Absolutely.
He'll be involved heavily. Yeah. He has Taylor Swift. He's a bunch of, he's
got it all going for him.
Yeah, he's got a lot going for him. So it's not like NFL is completely his number one priority. So I wouldn't be surprised if he left, but I also think he has a year left in him. So I'll give him the year. I'm gonna say that he has one more year in him. After this year, though, I think he's done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's absolutely gonna be done after next year if he plays. I think he probably will. I think a point that you made that was good is that he's got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
He's done it all. He's won multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's proven to be one of the best tight ends of all time. If he were to not play another year, it wouldn't change anything. Nope. If he were to play another year, it wouldn't change anything. He's already solidified himself as a Hall of Famer. Absolutely incredible tight end. I think something that gets brought up. I think something that could get brought up maybe in terms of what he's contemplating in the offseason, again, is his future with Taylor. Maybe he wants to kind of settle down and think about his future with Taylor. Maybe, again, we joked about him proposing at the Super Bowl, but maybe he does see a future, proposing to Taylor in the future. And we've seen at NFL games, we saw at the Super Bowl, the fan backlash with just seeing her all the time has gotten really bad. She got booed out of the building when they literally just put her on the Jumbotron at the game, and Taylor was all confused, like, what's going on? Like, you could literally, if you can read lips, if you can kind of read lips, you can see her be confused, like, what is going on? And I saw a report that was saying that Travis was absolutely heartbroken and devastated after seeing that, because she didn't do anything. She just sat there. She's just there to support her significant other, which is incredible.
It's not her fault.
It's not her fault at all, because she doesn't do anything. And I jokingly, kind of chime in and throw my jokes about Taylor Swift, but at the end of the day, she's been a great significant other coming to support him. She doesn't do anything to kind of make it about her. It's the NFL that puts the camera on her. She's just there supporting, having a good time. She's cheering. She's not doing anything to be annoying or obnoxious.
No.
She's there, being a great significant other. And I think, again, for Travis to be in the stadium and see everyone just booing, just hearing and seeing everyone booing her just for being a good person, it's heartbreaking. And maybe that's something he wants to step away, because he wants to move that bad publicity away from him and her, and not have her get hurt. Maybe that's something he contemplates in this offseason, is the fan reaction and the backlash to her.
Yep.
And for the better of maybe for both of their mental health, is moving away from the game. Although it is kind of sad, but maybe that's something he's going to, kind of think about as well. It's something I kind of thought was fun or funny to think about, maybe.
It is.
Because, again, of how bad she got booed out of the building.
Yeah. It sucks to see that. I'll turn over to another topic of a coach, an offensive coordinator of the Eagles, Kellen Moore, signs with the Saints to be their head coach. I want to know your initial reactions to this, because obviously he's coming off of a Super Bowl, immediately signs with the Saints. What's your initial reactions?
I like this hiring a lot for the Saints. I mean, the Saints are kind of going into a rebuild phase right now. So, and Kellen Moore is a first-time head coach. So, kind of two tricky situations where it's okay.
Sure.
Like, we're going to have a bad team, most likely. We're going to have a new head coach that's never head coached before. How are those two things going to combine?
Yep.
Maybe make Kellen look bad, but I think Kellen's got a great offensive-powered mind. I think we saw it in Dallas as well when he was there. Now they went to Philly, brought them to the Super Bowl, because, last season I think Philadelphia, a lot of the questions were, again, in coaching. I think Sirianni was thrown on the hot seat, but they ended up dropping both coordinators, and obviously it worked. You brought in new coordinators, and it absolutely changed the system, and it changed, how the team operated, and they won the Super Bowl. I think, Kellen Moore, we've seen with this Eagles Eagles offense, a powerhouse, really good offense. Kellen Moore was given a lot to work with, but he made them look even more incredible. I think Kellen Moore can bring that type of offensive power to the Saints that is absolutely needed. Just a new spark of just fresh coaching and fresh mind, and young guy to come in and just spark that team even through a rebuild phase. You've got, pieces that can make plays. I mean, you've got Alvin Kamara, which is still one of the best NFL running backs in the league. Your quarterback situation is a little tricky. I don't know if they're absolutely going to address that in the offseason. You've got Derek Carr, which fans are kind of up in the air of, do we like Derek, do we not? I think the general consensus is that people don't like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Which is fair. He's had his kind of bad games, but he's also been consistent as well at points. But then you also got Spencer Rattler, who's a little more exciting, because it was interesting in college. We've seen him play a little bit in the NFL this season. He's had kind of flashes where he's making good plays, but we've also seen the downsides of Spencer Rattler, what we kind of thought his downsides were going to be. Yeah. But again, a rookie quarterback, so that's going to be a lot for Kellen Moore to take on. Again, other talent around the team. That's who knows if they're going to be there. Again, the Saints are kind of in a rebuild phase, but I like the signing for the Saints. I think Kellen Moore can, bring that spark to the team that's much needed. So I like that hire. I like that hire a lot for the Saints.
Yeah. I'm going to play devil's advocate, and say that I'm not the biggest fan of the hire. I mean,
Okay.
to be completely honest, the Saints are not in a position to hire anybody else. He was probably the most qualified candidate
Yeah.
and one of the only ones who would want to do it.
Probably.
At the same time, before I play devil's advocate, I will say some of the pros of this hire. One being, the first being obviously that Kellen Moore is coming off of a championship, right? Won a championship. And the thing I will say about him that I like him a lot is he knows what to do. He knows how to utilize his players. For example, yes, is he an offensive-minded coach, like in the sense of like he knows what to do? Yes, he is. But he knows, like, they just got Saquon Barkley, right?
Yeah.
And they completely shifted to majority run game because you have such a good running back, and that worked. So he knows how to use his pieces, such as Saquon, and he says, well, if we have one of the best running backs in the league, we're obviously going to use him, right? He's using common sense here, which most coaches, honestly, it seems like they don't.
Yeah.
He knew, like, A.J. Brown had a somewhat inconsistent year, mostly because defenses would game plan to cover him. You have Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith recently, I think he went something like 9 out of 10 straight games or 9 straight games, right, with 4+ catches, right? So, which is telling you that he knows how to game plan for his wide receivers too.
Absolutely, he does.
Right? So he knows how to shift game plans towards his players, and I think that will bode over well for the Saints.
Yeah.
Right? So he's going to take his most important pieces, Kamara. He's going to take Olave, who hopefully comes back from injury. You have,
I think Bub Means is a name.
Bub Means, yeah, who will be more of a long range threat, right? So he knows what he's going to do with the pieces. You're going to see exactly what these players should be doing. They will do, right?
Yeah,
he's going to take their best aspects.
Yes, Juwan Jennings, just throwing down.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So I think that's what I like most about him is that he knows what to do for his players, and that's why I think he'll be a good coach. But then again, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Back 2 years ago when they made the championship, but they lost their offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, who went to the Colts to become their head coach, who was kind of in the same position as what the Saints were in right now, like not a great team. And honestly, have the Colts been any better since? Not really. And he's on the hot seat. I think, honestly, I give him another year. I think after this year, he's probably gone because I don't think they're going to be good at all. And so my devil's advocate here is like, I really hope Kellen Moore doesn't fall into the same category as Shane Steichen because they're in similar positions and it's kind of hard to like predict. So I don't know. I'd love to say he's going to do miracles, but this team is a faulty team. Yeah, like you said, not a great quarterback. It's a really tricky situation right now. So he's got a lot ahead of him to work on. I hope he does well, but I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I like that. I like the point you made where it's like with Steichen as well. It's like, you know, he went to the Colts and really not much. Man, it could be the same thing with Kellen Moore.
Could be
first time head coach, but I don't know. Again, we're gonna have to see how the Saints move, and I think a lot of it is getting pieces around for Kellen Moore to. I mean, again, he's the head coach, but just for him to kind of let that offense get going and him to show his offensive mind as well. Obviously, he'll have coordinators around him to help, but I think Kellen Moore will have a big piece in say of what the offense does. Yeah. So we'll be excited to see what he does. Yeah. And hopefully turns the Saints team around, but no promises this season.
Yeah. I guess we'll see, right? And the last section of the Super Bowl recap. Let's give our way too early predictions for who we think is going to make the Super Bowl next year. I got 2 names in mind. Do you have 2 names in mind?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do.
I'll start.
Okay.
I'll tell you the 2 teams that I think are going to make it. And this might just be because I wanted this matchup this year and we didn't get it. I got the Lions going back next year. Okay. Fully healthy defense.
Yep.
Another year of Gibbs, another year of Montgomery, even though I can see a little bit of a decline. You still have a majority of the same team plus some. Give me the Lions back in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And give me the Bills. The Bills are going to break through any day now.
Okay.
Right? I know they haven't for like the last few years, but I think next year could be the year. Okay. I think if they bring in a wide receiver, a real one, not Amari Cooper who is aging, a real one,
Yeah.
I think you have a chance to get back there.
Okay.
We saw what Josh Allen did with this receiving core. Shakir was your best wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I give me Lions versus Bills in the Super Bowl next year, because that would be honestly a dream scenario for me.
Yeah, I like that Super Bowl. That would be a really fun matchup. Excuse me. I'm gonna agree with you NFC wise.
Okay.
I'm gonna have the Lions going to the Super Bowl. They didn't go back. I'm gonna have the Lions going to the Super Bowl as well. I think fully healthy. They're gonna get things figured out. They're gonna learn from their mistakes. They're getting playoff experience now. I think they're gonna finally get over that hump. I think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. AFC wise, I'm gonna differ a little bit. Not gonna go with the Bills. I'm not gonna go with the Chiefs though. I don't think the Chiefs make it.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. That was my Super Bowl matchup this year. I'm gonna go with it again. I think Lamar is gonna have something to prove this next season. As if he didn't already, as if he didn't have anything to prove before, because he's solidified how great he is. I think in the back of his mind is he needs to go out there and prove why he deserved to win the MVP over Josh Allen.
Yes.
I think he needs to go out there and prove the haters wrong, that he is not just a regular season quarterback, and that he can win in the playoffs. I think he's going to come different this season. I think he's going to come with a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to play mad. If I'm him, I am pissed I didn't get that MVP. I think he got robbed.
Do you?
He probably thinks he got robbed. Excuse me, I'm still getting over being sick. But I think he's mad, and I think he's got a lot to prove to himself and a lot to the fans that says, I got robbed. I'm coming for not just the MVP. I'm coming for the Super Bowl MVP, and I'm winning the whole damn thing, because he made that promise when he got drafted to Baltimore that he was going to bring them a championship, and I think 2026 will be the year that he does it. That's who I'm going to have winning the Super Bowl too.
Oh, Ravens.
I'm going to have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Lamar Jackson, Super Bowl MVP.
Wow.
Way too early prediction. You heard this.
It is early. It's very early.
In that matchup, though, of Bills-Lions, who do you have winning?
Good. I got Lions.
You got the Lions? Okay.
It's interesting because I say that the Bills are finally going to break through, but after all, I have them losing in the championship. but honestly, what do I know, man? I could see a Josh Allen Super Bowl. I wouldn't be mad with either of the teams that we just listed. Ravens, Bills, Lions.
I would not be mad either.
I would be mad with the Chiefs.
I would be mad at that.
Yeah.
Any of those other teams, though, I would not be mad about.
Yep. Let's switch over sports now and close that Super Bowl recap topic. Let's go into the NBA world. Kevin Durant becomes eighth in NBA history to score 30,000. Pretty big achievement.
Absolutely huge achievement. One of the best offensive, best players of all time.
Yeah.
But just scoring players of all time. KD is a bucket. He can absolutely get you a bucket any day of the week, any night of the week. He's 36 years old and he's still putting up incredible numbers. He just got selected to his 15th All-Star game, and he joins a really prestigious list of just superstars that are in the 30,000 point mark. Just to name, them: LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, and Wilt Chamberlain are all in the 30,000 point club. I guess Julius Irving technically counts if you want to combine his points in the WNBA and the ABA, but we'll go with just NBA. So
sure.
LeBron, Kareem, Karl, Kobe, Michael, Dirk, Wilt, and KD's now the 8th. Some of the best players of all time. So KD cemented his legacy as one of the greatest players of all time. If he didn't already do before, just further proves the case that he's just one of the greatest players of all time. Some people say that he's the best scorer of all time too. I mean, that's a crazy comparison as well, to be put up in the likes of Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron as some of the best scorers. But KD gets his flowers up there too.
Oh yeah,
absolutely deserving. So he's hoping to make a playoff run with Phoenix this season. We'll see how they go. They had a little celebration for him, once he hit it.
Made it on a free throw.
Yep, and he did. They were playing the Rockets the other night, and he hit that. Congrats to KD.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge achievement. So excited to see, how much further he gets and how much
Yeah,
longer he plays in the league.
how much longer do you think he's gonna get? Because I got like my estimate is like 2 more seasons. I think that's
I think that's a fair guess. I mean, yeah, he's 36. He's still playing to an absolutely high level. He's still one of the best players in the league. But I wonder if how his body's holding up. Maybe he'll continue to play a little longer. But yeah, probably about 3 seasons.
I'd say max.
2 or 3 seasons max. I think is a soft spot for him.
Yeah, unless he's like chasing some kind of incredible feat. But I don't know.
Maybe chasing a ring. He did it. I mean, not that he needs to do it again. He did it in Golden State.
He would need to go somewhere else.
In the prime of his career. But
I'll tell you,
this time he'd have to chase a ring and hope to get carried.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know. He'll still be good, Ben. But
either way, congratulations, KD, on your 30K points.
Absolutely.
Next piece of news. Ben Simmons signs with the Clippers. You know what? I'm surprised, but also I understand the move. I thought that the Lakers would have got, like, obviously before this trade, and we'll get into the rescinded trade of the Lakers versus Hornets. But first, let's get into this. I thought the Lakers would get Ben Simmons because I felt like that was a good fit, especially after,
Yeah, what happened?
Everything that happened. But instead, the Nets buy out Ben Simmons, moves to the Clippers. What do you got for me? Is this even going to impact the Clippers at all?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to impact the Clippers really much at all. It's kind of really unfortunate to see the downfall of Ben Simmons at only age 28. Former first overall pick, and people thought he was going to take over the league, and here we are in 2025, where he's his contract just got bought out by a terrible Nets team, and now he's going to the Clippers, who were fighting for a playoff spot in the West. Still a solid team, but it's not like he's going to join a powerhouse team and be a contender. Even on the bad Nets team, he averaged only 6.2 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 6.9 assists in 25 minutes per game. And I don't even know exactly how many games he played, because one of Ben Simmons' problems too, which ended up leading to, his buyout, is he can't stay on the court. Yeah, he's made of glass.
Of course, that's the biggest problem.
That's the biggest problem, is that he can't stay healthy and he can be consistent enough to earn that money, to be a star player. And that's what his downfall has been, even at age 28, where it's like, man, he's not been good. He was supposed to be the future of the 76ers with Embiid. Yeah. Them two were supposed to be a powerhouse duo, and things kind of fell out with the 76ers, and the fans kind of turned on him as well. But the future was hopefully bright with the Nets, and maybe he could turn things around and stay healthy, and it only got worse. Yep. And now we're here, where first overall pick again, just his contract gets bought out, and now he's going to play for the Clippers, and who knows how he's going to do, if he can even stay on the court. Yeah. It's kind of sad to see how Ben. I wonder. Part of me wonders how he would have been if he was just healthy the entire time. If he never got hurt, if he could stay on the court, could he be dominant? Yeah. I mean, again, even when he was on the court, there were some times where it was kind of it had its ups and downs of his play. But even still, you think you could have worked through that if he would just stayed on the court a little longer. But again, it's one of kind of what ifs if he just was healthy a little more often. But so I don't really think he makes much of a difference in this Clippers team. I don't know what your take on that is.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think they need him to be this, I'll say it, I don't think they need him to be this grand player for the team. No. I think they utilize him. They utilize his strengths, which is, I mean, he's decent and everything, right? He'll grab you boards. He'll put up a few points, right? He's pretty good on the defensive end, I'd say. So you kind of have this Swiss Army knife in him that will be like some good depth. I don't think he will make a huge impact, but it's the little plays that will make more of a difference. Then again, I don't think the Clippers are going anywhere this year, so I don't. It's really a low risk, high reward type of situation where like I said, these little plays will matter in games that, I don't know, games that are close. He might come in and he might do something that is huge. But again, at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to make a huge difference. but it's nice to have on the team. The low risk aspect of it is maybe he does revive a little bit of himself. He's never going to be full, potential that Ben Simmons had. He's never going to be
We're
that
not
guy.
Gonna see that, unfortunately.
No, but you might see a little bit of that energy, motivation, especially on a team with Kawhi and also James Harden. So it's like as a player, I'd be more excited being with previous superstars. I'll say,
yeah,
even though they still kind of are, but
either way,
they're
not in their primes anymore.
Yeah, it's just I feel like that's one of the most overlooked aspects of like going to a team is like who you're with. You might play better playing with other guys, and you never know if James Harden and Kawhi spark something in them.
Hopefully,
but again, I don't think like the pressure's super high on him to do too much.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, you make a good point. There's not really a lot of pressure on him, especially where the Clippers are kind of like an team. They're kind of fighting for the playoffs. So if they miss it, it's not his fault. Maybe if they make it, great. Hopefully he was a key contributor, but we'll see. We'll see. How the rest of the season plays out for the Clippers and if he can make an impact or not.
Yeah,
but.
Next, let's talk about the Hornets and the Lakers, right? So they made a trade, Mark Williams, right, to go to the Lakers in exchange. I forget the trade. We literally talked about this, right?
We did. Let me pull up the trade real quick.
I'll say if you haven't seen our trade deadline video and you're still interested in seeing our takes on the trade deadline acquisitions, go ahead and that'll be probably on our YouTube channel. You can just look it up. It's one of the most recent videos. And we talk about the trade if you want to go more in depth about it.
Yeah.
But obviously that trade got rescinded.
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, talk about the details.
Okay, so I have the details pulled up here. So initially, what the trade was, it was Lakers were going to send Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2031, unprotected first round pick and a 2030 pick swap to the Hornets in return for Williams. So the Hornets were getting a haul there. And Williams ends up, he showed multiple issues and the team failed him on the exam. And it was not because of his back, which had been an issue for him the last 2 seasons.
Interesting.
And, the trade gets rescinded there because he failed the physical. So now all players go back. And I think something that kind of I saw a video of that I would understand too. If I'd feel the same way was Dalton Knecht kind of looking just pissed and just disappointed and just confused on the bench the other night. And again, I don't blame him. You just got traded. I would feel, especially as a rookie, I would feel backstabbed too.
Oh yeah.
But then it's like, okay, well now never mind. You got to go back because the other guy failed his physical. Okay, well screw y'all. Y'all tried trading me. Why would I want to stay here? I'm gonna absolutely want to go now because you just tried getting rid of me. You don't want me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he's kind of just taking everything in and absorbing it. And I'd say the same for Cam Reddish. I'd say the same thing for Mark Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just kind of like, all right, now we're going to go back and pretend like that never happened.
Like, how do you do that?
You don't.
You don't. You live with it.
You have to live with it.
Honestly, that sucks.
If I was any of these players, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm leaving as soon as I can. Because clearly you don't want me. You want someone better. And, it didn't work. But I don't know.
It is a business, though.
It's a business, though. You have to understand that it is a business. It's nothing personal. They're looking at what's best for the team, even if it means giving up a good piece, especially like Dalton Knecht, where he was a good young lottery piece. Just business is business. It wasn't anything personal. I bet they loved him as a person. But yeah, kind of crazy. You don't see that really happen often, if at all, where a trade gets rescinded after a couple days after the deadline. Of all things, you would think everything's finalized at 5:00 that day, but here we are a couple days later, and trade gets kicked back because of a failed physical. So kind of interesting to see how that works, and now everything goes back to kind of where it was in terms of the Lakers and the Hornets.
Yeah, and you can't even rework the deal because it's past the deadline. So it's like
you're just like, all right, now you're stuck with
disgruntled guys now.
You are.
I mean, they'll deal with it. At the end of the day, they're getting money, so it's like they're gonna deal with it.
Right. I think the bigger loser out of that, though, was the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
The Lakers were in the market for center. They go get the center. Okay, we have our problems fixed. Oh, no.
Nope. No, you don't.
You don't. We're back to square one. We lost AD.
Oh, I forgot about that, though.
And I forgot about that, though. And we don't got a center. Yeah. Although they did just sign Alex Len to a deal after.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got Alex Len, but...
Come on now. I would have much rathered Mark Williams.
Yeah, I would have much rather Mark Williams as well. But hey, I guess you keep Connect, you keep Ken Reddish, you keep the first round picks, and you got Alex Len.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe again, that's something they're gonna have to address in the offseason is going to get another big man, another good big man, not Alex Len, but another really good, solid big man in the offseason and continue to build from there. But I don't know. Maybe try again with Mark Williams in the offseason when
they might.
He's kind of fully healthy and can actually pass a physical. So I don't know. Kind of crazy that the trade got kicked back, and I guess we'll see what happens. I think the Hornets are going to be bad, whatever, regardless happens. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this kind of would impact the Lakers now because they're kind of be a little smaller than they already were. So we'll see.
We will see. Let's jump over into the hockey world. The hockey world, not the hawker world. I don't know why I said that.
The hockey world.
Yeah. Right now, the Four Nations face-off is currently going on. We got the U.S., we got Canada, we got Finland, and we got Sweden, right? 4 countries, lots and lots of talent is what I'll say. A lot of good players.
Plenty pool of talent.
Plenty. And we got takes. We got hot takes. We got picks for who we think is going to win. What we're going to do is we're going to give you 6 hot takes for the Four Nations face-off. You guys might think some other things, but we're going to give you some hot takes. We'll go back and forth. I got 3. He got 3. I'll start us off with the first take.
Hear it.
And I tried to balance between, is this actually a hot take? Is this not a hot take? But I came to the assumption that this was, right? And so my first hot take, Sweden's top players will outperform Canada's top players.
Ooh, I think that is a hot take. But I like that, though. I like that.
Right. So obviously Canada has like McDavid, McKinnon. Honestly, you can name them. I'm not gonna the whole roster.
The dream team.
I'll pull up the player list real quick, just so we can name some of Sweden's top players. Because it is a hot take. I mean, like I just said, it's a hot
take no matter who you put them up against. It's Team Canada. They have some of the best players in the world. So. Absolutely, it is a hot take just to say compared to whoever. But let's read off Sweden's top forwards.
For the hot take, for this to work, right, we're looking at guys like Philip Forsberg, who's good, who's really good.
Yeah.
Will Nylander, who I'd say that makes sense. He kind of matches up well. Jesper Bratt, Elias Pettersson, this dude right here.
Yep.
Victor Hedman, like. That's majority of their team.
Yeah.
And that's not nearly as half as what Canada has.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
But why this is a hot take for me is because in the past we've seen Swedes outperform. We saw them last time that this went on. Sweden upset Canada. So at the end of the day, it's a hot take for a reason. Canada will probably be the better team.
Yeah.
But
on paper, at least.
But these Swedes are fast. They score. They're all around the ice. You can underestimate these guys. Like, so they'll surprise you. That's all I'm gonna say. They'll surprise you.
Okay, I like that. I like that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch that over in terms of you saying someone would be surprisingly good. Maybe this isn't surprisingly bad, but someone I think is gonna be really bad this tournament is Finland. I don't think my prediction, my hot take is that Finland's not gonna win a single game. Through this tournament. I don't think they're going to beat Sweden. I don't think they're going to beat Canada. I don't think they're going to beat the United States.
Yeah.
Again, easy ones to just explain. United States, powerhouse. I'll get back into that. Canada, powerhouse. Don't need to explain that one. Sweden, I think, is their only chance of winning a game, but I think Sweden's the better team. I don't see Finland even taking a point here. I'm going to give them a good old goose egg in terms of points. Yeah, I don't see them getting anything.
Yeah, and I would agree.
Not that they don't have good talent on their team, because they do, but if you just look at the talent of the other teams, okay, now I don't think it's gonna be as close.
It's also just like the talent is there, but it's slim.
Yeah.
Right. So you got Barkov, but on the defensive end, your best defender is Isa Lindell.
Yeah.
Other names: Yoki Harju, Ali Mata, Nico Mikola, Urho Vakanainen, who was a throwaway Bruins prospect.
Yeah.
Their defensemen, pretty trash.
They're bad. Those are bad. Like you think those guys are gonna be stopping guys like McDavid?
No. I'm starting to think that this might not even be a hot take. I'm
Austin Matthews. Like, I don't even need to go. I don't even need to go down that line of just incredible guys that they're going to have to line up against, and they're not shutting them down. They're not even going to come close. Finland's not taking a point in this entire thing. That's my hot take, if it's even a hot take.
And as a bonus one, I'll add on to that. Finland might not even score more than 10 goals all tournament.
That would be wild.
Like, I think they'll average, like, actually, yeah, they're not going to do that. They'd have to average 3.5. As a bonus one, they're not going to have more than 6 goals all tournament. They're not going to put more than 2 goals average a game.
I agree with that.
So
that's a good take.
Take that for what you will. My next hot take, Cale Makar will lead Canada in points.
Ooh, okay.
So this kind of plays hand in hand with the Sweden's top players will outperform Canada's top players. I think Cale Makar will outperform his own forwards.
Okay.
Right? He's known as a playmaker. He knows if you see him with the puck, he's like magic. Right? Put guys like Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid around him. He has a plethora of options to pass to, and he's one of the premier passes in the league. I think he'll lead Team Canada in points, specifically assists, not goals. He might put a few goals up.
Yeah.
He'll lead them in assists for sure. But in points total, he'll lead them. And that's my hot take.
I like that. That's a good take. Like you said, like he's got a plethora of guys that he can pass the puck to.
Yeah.
I don't even need to go down that list. But yeah, I like that a lot. I think he's gonna set up a lot of opportunities for guys on his team to make incredible plays. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a really good take.
Yeah.
I like that. My second take, kind of going back on what I said about Team USA being a powerhouse, is they're going to dominate the whole tournament. I don't see them losing a single game. I think they're going to win every single game in regulation. Yeah, they're going to dominate all the way. They're going to win the Four Nations face-off. They're going to win the whole thing.
Interesting.
That's who I have. They're not the favorites right now. I think Canada is the favorites, but I have Team USA winning the entire thing. Canada is a real powerhouse. That's kind of the biggest target. That's their biggest rival right now competition is it's going to be USA versus Canada in the finals. I think kind of everyone and their mother knows it's going to be Team USA versus Canada. But I think Team USA is going to win the entire thing. I think Team USA has a lot of heart. I think Team USA has a lot of incredible talent. Part of me wants to wonder how Team Canada is going to hold up in terms of you got all the star power. Now, how does that all combine? You've got, again, like you think star power means better team, but sometimes it's not as good for chemistry.
Doesn't mesh well. Yeah,
it doesn't mesh well, like you said. Maybe that happens with Canada. Maybe it doesn't. But I think Team USA also has the best defensive pairings in the entire Four Nations face-off. And I think they're going to be able to not shut down Canada, but I think they're going to be able to contain Canada, leading Team USA to win the entire thing.
Defense wins championships, man.
Defense absolutely does win championships. Team USA has the defense, and they're going to win it. That's my take.
Wow. I think it's entirely possible for them to lose out on a point here and there. So I like the hot take. Not going to lose a single point. They're going to get every single point possible. They're going to get every single
point possible.
Wow. I like it. I'll move on. My next and final hot take for you guys is you say Saros will look like and be the best goalie all tournament. Okay. Team Finland's goalie, by the way.
Yeah.
Why? This is why I like this hot take, right? And here's my thinking around it too. Finland sucks. And like you said with your hot take, they're going to be like their defense core sucks.
Yeah.
And but on the flip side of things, Saros does not. He's one of the top goalies in the league.
Absolutely.
He's going to need to stand on his head if he wants to even come remotely close to winning any games. I think when it comes to goals allowed, they'll probably still have the most goals allowed. But I think that the shots are going to outweigh how many goals that he actually lets in. I think you're going to see something like 50 shots on goal, but he's only going to let in 3. Like they're going to lose 3-2 or something like that. And his goals against average is going to be insane. I think he's going to look incredible. But ultimately, obviously, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
That. Honestly, I don't even want that to be a hot take. I would love that for Saros.
Yeah. When you first said that Saros would be the best, I kind of was like, you do make good points though, where maybe he only lets in 3 goals but on 50 shots.
Right.
So again, he plays incredible. I think we've kind of seen why he's one of the best goalies in the NHL. Maybe this is another point proven where, again, he faces 50 shots and only lets in 3. But do I necessarily agree with that take? I'm not sure, but I do like your reasoning a lot for it, though. I think Saros is one of the best, and I hope he can prove,
sure,
even with Finland being so bad this tournament, that he's going to be the biggest bright spot. But he's maybe keeping them in games that could be blowouts, but aren't. I don't know.
I do not know.
I don't know.
It's a hot take for a reason.
It is. It definitely is a hot take, but I like that. It's a fun one. It's a fun one, even if I don't agree with that. My last one, I'm going to stay kind of in that goalie realm of things. For Team Canada, Jordan Binnington, as of right now, was the starter for Team Canada, even though they might kind of, they're going to have 4 games at least. They may or may not bounce around with goalies, but I think right now Jordan Binnington is the guy that they're going to roll with. Jordan Binnington is going to be the one that plays that they play in the championship. But I don't agree. I think they're going to change their mind, and I think Aiden Hill is going to take over as the starter. Jordan Binnington, I think, has a lot of question marks. I think he gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And Jordan Binnington isn't as consistent as you'd want him to be, I guess, is maybe what I'm looking for. Jordan Binnington is not absolutely incredible. This Team Canada goalie core tandem isn't all that great as well when you compare it to the likes of like Team USA with Hellebuck, Swayman, Nottinger. But I think Aiden Hill is going to take over. I think Aiden Hill has been incredible for the Vegas Knights, and I think Jordan Binnington's going to kind of slip up, and I think they're going to move over with Aiden Hill as the starter going in when they go to the championship. I think Aiden Hill when they go to the championship, Aiden Hill is going to be the starter.
Okay.
So Aiden Hill again.
I like
for
it.
Team Canada.
So you think Binnington's going to be nervous or something?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think Team Canada is going to make the swap over to Aiden Hill.
I could see it. I could see it happening. So yeah, that'll wrap up our 6 hot takes. Hope you enjoyed them, obviously. Let us know if you believe in any of these hot takes. Do you also think that these will happen? Let us know down below. We're going to switch over. BU wins the Beanpot, right, which is a Boston thing.
Yep.
Over Boston College. Boston University wins. Why this is such big news? Boston College is a powerhouse, right? They're actually one of the best teams in the whole conference, right? And BU, do they have some good pieces? They do. But this was not expected.
No, they were ranked low.
They were pretty low.
Yeah, I have it pulled up right now. BC was ranked number 1 in the country, and BU was ranked number 9 in recent polls. So
it says a lot.
1 versus 9, and 9 ends up prevailing and wins after being down to start, and they end up scoring 4 straight and win the game 4-1. It says a lot. That's absolutely incredible. The Beanpot, this is the 72nd year or 72nd tournament that they've been doing it with BC, BU, Northeastern, and Harvard. And so the 9-seeded BU in the country takes down BC number 1 ranked, and we got to see a lot of future NHL players kind of going at it as well. So a lot to I just spit there a little bit. A lot to watch here, and I think again we kind of watch a lot of the future NHL guys just play here, and fun game.
Yeah,
fun little thing.
Gabe Perreault. We got Ryan Leonard, Higgins. For all these guys are projected or already drafted in the first round. But it was, I personally was working this game the other day, and I was fully thinking that the Eagles were going to win.
Yeah,
obviously Boston College, but no, they upset 4-1, right? And the Hudson brothers were huge for this game. Their brother is in the NHL, Lane Hudson. So it was really interesting seeing a team that's 9th ranked beat the number 1 team in the country. And on this article, to paraphrase NESN announcer Tom Karen, BC is the number 1 team in the country, but BU is number 1 in Boston. Kind of resonates with me. I kind of like that.
I like that. That's funny.
So it's super interesting. There's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of NHL guys here, or will be NHL guys here. So this is just a little preview of what the NHL will look like in a few years.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Absolutely.
Let's move into our final section. My own section, my first and
he got
first episode. I finally got it.
He got it.
He finally got it.
He got it.
Connor's had his Connor's clutch plays of the week for the past couple weeks, but it's my turn now. It's my
Let's
turn
see
now,
it. What
buddy.
do you got?
We got Drew's Dynasty Talk.
I like
right?
that.
So
I like the name of that.
So now that the football season is over, we might here and there talk a little bit about Dynasty football, fantasy. So this is a trade that went down in our league, right? And I know you just saw it recently.
I did.
I saw it this morning. I woke up to it. So take a little listen to this. Ready? Devon Achane. Okay, so going to team 1 is Devon Achane. Pick 103 in the rookie draft. This is a 10-man league. And pick 203.
Yep.
Right? 103, pretty good pick. So you can only imagine what's going to go back the other way. Team 2, Saquon Barkley, pick 108 and pick 208. I have it written down 207, but it's actually 208, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, from just strictly looking at it, it looks decently fair. Let's dive into this a little bit. What do you think?
Lot to unfold here. I mean, again, I didn't realize this trade went down because I didn't have the notifications on. You told me, you were like, "Oh, check out this trade." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What trade are you talking about?" This was probably about like an hour ago.
Big trade,
and it was a huge trade. You know, I ended up looking, and I was really surprised that this went down. Kind of huge. You know, team 1. I think the biggest takeaway here is that obviously they get Achane, but they also get the 103. So they're gonna move up, and they're gonna get a really, really good guy in this draft. I don't know exactly who will be there at that point, but you know, 103, you're gonna get one of the top guys. But in return, team 2,
the value is huge.
How do you not say that team 2 takes this away?
I don't know.
Saquon Barkley, who had just one of the best running back seasons of all time, and you're gonna get him again.
Not to mention,
excuse me, but you're also still keeping the 108. You only move back 5 spots, and the upgrade from Achane to Barkley is crazy. Team 2 absolutely takes this one.
Takes this one home.
Takes this one home, and you're still going to get the 108. You're still going to get a solid guy in the draft potentially. You get 208, I guess, which you move back 5 spots in the second round as well. So you move back a little bit, and you upgrade massively at the running back spot. No matter who you're getting, like even if you had Achane, great running back fantasy wise, but man, getting Barkley is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I would agree.
Team 2 takes the cake easily.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I understand what Team 1 is going for. Right, you're getting earlier picks, and if you believe in, you know, the guys that you have ranked at number 3, then sure, I understand it. Plus, you get Achane, who has a lot of upside, a little bit of a not clear future, uncertain future.
Yep.
Obviously with Jalen right in the ropes.
Yep.
Right. Nobody knows if Achane's longevity is going to be good or not.
Right.
Right. But to me, I think there's a huge drop off behind the second pick overall.
Right.
I think 3 through 10 are basically the same pick to me.
Right.
And that's a hot take.
Okay.
I think that the value at 3 is not much different than it is at 8. And so then to me, obviously there is a difference, but it's not huge.
Okay.
And then to me, the difference between Achane and Barkley is huge. So that's why I have team 2.
Huge.
So I don't know. I understand I understand the thinking, but losing Barkley at the end of the day, not super smart. Team 1 obviously believes that he's not going to be the same.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe again, that's what he's thinking. You know, he just turned 28.
Yeah.
Coming off the Super Bowl, maybe he thinks they're not going to use him as much, but I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. That's my take. I'd love for you guys to drop your opinions in the comments about what your take on this opinion is, because it's also a huge trade in our league. So I'd love to
league breaking. It's crazy.
It is. So for anyone else, I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. Just kind of giving on your take who wins this or just anything. But yeah, I think Team 2 is taking this one. I think Team 2 is they're building up a little bit for the future, and I like that a lot.
It looks like a good team.
It looks like
we're not going to dive into it, but it looks like a good team.
It's looking like a good team.
That'll do it for our episode number 15. As always, if you enjoyed, leave a like down below. Comment what your favorite parts of the video were, as well as if we asked you to comment in the video, why haven't you already?
Yeah.
Why haven't you already? And subscribe for more content. We post weekly podcast episodes, and we're starting to post more videos. There'll be a lot more over the summer, and as we transition into some more fantasy football content. So be on the lookout for that. And if you haven't already, stayed tuned with our social medias, those will be linked down in the description below. So if you want to go follow them, we have an Instagram, TikTok page, and a Twitter. Those will all be linked down below. So go ahead and follow them if you haven't already. But that will basically be it for the episode.
Yeah.
Again, we will all see you for number 16? Number 16.
16, yeah.
Episode number 16. We'll see you next week. See you later.